When I was in college, I tried many different things. So when I started, I actually was a computer programmer, and I was putting together computers for people and setting them up. And I started making websites, and I was doing a lot of writing. I was going to be an English major. And my English teacher kept saying, "This is not a good career, do something else." I then decided to become a pilot, and I took pilot lessons, and this is all by working as a waiter. That's how I paid for all these things while I was in college. And so needless to say, college took me a little longer than it took the average person, for about 5.5 years. When I was in high school and junior high school, I was a terrible student, and I missed class a lot. And I got very bad grades. And you wouldn't think that someone like me back then would become a doctor. It's not easy to get into medical school. And ophthalmology is one of the harder specialties to get into, so something changed along the way. And when I started college, I still wasn't a very good student, okay? But along the way, while I was in college, I started to change my work habits. And I also started to think about my life a little bit and what was important to me. And I realized then that if I studied a little harder and I applied myself differently, that I would start to do better. The more that I took classes that I enjoyed, the better my grades were. That was just the kind of person I was. I had to explore different things to see what I really enjoyed. As a medical doctor, you have to do 4 years of undergrad, 4 years of medical school, and then a 4-year residency generally. So I did a 5th year and did a fellowship in glaucoma. And at that time, you know, most of the difficult part was over. So the tests are hard, you know, in medical school, and the training it can be frustrating because you never really have a guarantee while you're doing it that you're going to succeed at the end. But most people do. My parents were very poor. I grew up actually in pretty bad poverty in East LA. Note that when I went to undergrad in medical school and did my residency, my fellowship, I was taking out college loans the whole time and working through college. So it can be done. And a lot of people get concerned about paying back student loans when they pursue careers like medicine and law. But it really is such a small part of my concern at this point. Years after you finish, you get your degree and you start working, you never regret having gone to school, even if you have to take out loans. The income you make in your residency and your fellowship is enough to support you. You're making about $30,000 a year. It's enough to have a small apartment you're sharing with somebody in Manhattan, and to enjoy yourself in Manhattan too. I had a great time. But certainly as a physician, you end up making more money when you finish the whole training process. I decided to do fellowship, which is another year of not really making a lot of money, because it set me apart from my peers, the other doctors who were finishing with degrees in ophthalmology. Ophthalmology already is a ticket to go wherever you want and have a good job, but there are only a few hundred people who graduate every year in the world with fellowship training in glaucoma. So as soon as I finished my fellowship, I became the assistant director of New York GYN Infirmary, which is a program that sees more people in Manhattan than any other program on the East Coast. That's part of the reason why I felt like I could come somewhere like the Caribbean, because here you have a lot of very sick people who need all kinds of interesting surgeries that you wouldn't have to do if you were just a general physician in Manhattan or Miami. So, certainly anytime you get a training opportunity, just even if you don't know where it's going to lead you, just I think, take it on. It helped me, certainly. I like to be able to talk to a patient. Someone comes in, they're sick, they're suffering. You actually get to come up with a solution for them. And when they may feel better, when they're walking out your door. And there's a real satisfaction to that. And I wanted that. Okay. And I'm glad I did choose this career, because every day I go into work, and among the 60 to 80 patients I see a day, I would say that more than half of them I can find a solution for their problem, and they leave better off than when they came in. And that's good. I personally, value my home life, and balance is very important to me. So I constrain my work hours to 8 to 5 every day. I take an hour lunch, and all my staff take an hour lunch as well. And I don't work on weekends. So it's a job like any other. 40 to 50 hours a week. And on weekends, I spend time with my family. We go to the beach, or we just hang out at the house. So I feel very fortunate. I think that I'm glad I chose the career I did. And being a professional allows me to be able to afford a personal life that is rewarding as well.